to do is make sure that I'm set up for success initially. So if I'm doing Kesa Gatame, now here's a standard Kesa Gatame like this with wrap and it holds people. It's pretty good. I mean, it's very good. But if I want to set him up, eventually I have in mind where I want to finish him off with a submission, okay? What I want to do is make sure that I'm set up for success initially. So if I'm doing Kesa Gatame, now here's a standard Kesa Gatame like this with wrap and it holds people. It's pretty good. I mean, it's very good. But if I want to set him up, eventually I have in mind where I want to finish him off with a submission, okay? And also, if I do realize this, I know I can hold him very tight like this too. And I can hold his arm quite well here. And I can hold him for the required time to get my points, really pawn for most of the Kobe here. So I'm going to start with this hold here, okay? Now, I know he's going to be wiggling free, he's going to be fighting, and maybe even before time's up, I just want to finish this guy off.
Standard scarf hold or Kesa Gatame. I've got one hand over here trying to grab the back of my thigh, and I've got his arm locked in front of me so that I can bend back and really pressure him, or I can crunch in and really hold it, okay? If I let his arm slip around back, he's gonna bridge and roll and take me over, okay? Or he slips around back and takes my back, okay? So in order to avoid a lot of that, you need to control the front arm, and that gives you a great opportunity to slip in this sleeve choke. So we're fighting for our hand here, and you can notice how close my sleeve is to my other hand. So you can usually slip this through before he even gets his arm around back. And I'll show you the first way, and then I'll show you another way by trapping the arm with your legs that makes it even nastier. So once I'm through here, my hand's like right there. So I'm gonna kind of crunch down a little bit and act like I'm really trying to hold him hard. And then I'm gonna slip my hand inside that sleeve, okay? And then as soon as I've got that inside the sleeve, I'm gonna punch my arm straight through that way. And the benefit of doing this from Kesa is his head is already up, so I have a lot more of an angle to get over, and I can get that sleeve super close to his carotid. So I've got my hand in there, punch over, and finish, okay? So again, we're sitting through here like this, crunch down, faking like I'm trying really hard to hold him, let go of my thigh and grab the inside of my sleeve, okay? As soon as I've got that, I'm gonna punch that hand straight across that way. Don't punch him, okay? That might be fun, but you'll lose the choke. So go straight across, and you can see it's there, but I don't want to keep my hand in the same position, because then I'm trying to choke him without the aid of my wrist or without the aid of the sleeve. So as soon as it gets across, you shift your hand over, and then try and grab your wrist and tuck your elbows in, okay? All right, one more time. Through here, holding, 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 grab, and there you go. Okay, so if you're having issues with the arm retention, okay, again, I'm coming through here, and a lot of times from Kesa, I'm trying to push this through and get the bent arm lock from there, and he's doing his best to either come back or straighten out. So as soon as he straightens, I'm gonna pin that arm, okay? Now the likelihood of him being able to bridge and roll or take my back is really, really, really low. So now I can grab this and choke him at my leisure, okay? So once you try the first one off just the normal scarf hold, okay, then you start faking, pushing that arm down, wait for the reaction, grab it with your leg. Now you can grab and choke at your leisure. Okay, as he's trying to get his arm out, I start pushing down. And the idea is to eventually get there and get the bent arm lock. But Jake's pretty smart, and I've done that to him lots of times. So he's like, no, you're not going to get me today, Derek. And he starts straightening his arm to get out of the bent one.
You do the straight arm lock.
Yeah, and then you do the straight arm lock, and then he's smart. I've hit him with that before, and he goes down. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to trap your arm there, normally I'll just pinch like this, but you can triangle your legs as well. And now he's stuck. So no going around back, no bridging and rolling, and you can just at your leisure.
We're just going to do a kind of an upward direction, bent arm lock, figure 4 arm lock here, Ude-garami, from here. So I've got him, I've held him. He's either scrolling away, getting away or something, or I've just made decide I'm tired of this guy, I'm going to finish him off. Okay, so here we go. So bend forward, and when I do this, I start to slide up here, grab his wrist, and that helps me move him forward with my body, my torso. Now go ahead and trap his wrist. Okay. Now, as you trap his wrist, start to form the figure 4. So here's a way you can do this, and it's a very classic way of doing it. From here, slide under, grab your own wrist. Now I could finish him there, but it's not nearly strong with his head in the way. It could work, but if I slide my arm around like this, and then I could get more crank into it by leaning into it, and you get really a nasty elbow lock there. See that? So that's a classic Ude-garami position. So this really works. I mean, it's like one of those things that's so old-fashioned it's cool. Well, here we go. Okay, so I'm holding him here, lean forward to get as much torque as I can. Grab. Now I've got a good. I want to keep a hold of him really well. All right. Now from this point, this left hand, I've got this grip, so I'm fine there. I've anchored it. So slide under, get your figure 4. Okay. Now at this point, I've got him pretty nice. Now it's a good idea. So you can have room to move your arm around his head, pull his arm into your gut, his armpit into you, so you can kind of park it there. So you feel his upper arm, his triceps area on your gut. Now as soon as you do that, swing over. I'm trying to do this nice without hurting him. Now drive your elbow right in the crook of his neck. Now I've got it. Now to really make it crank, don't do it hard because you can really bust him up. But you're just going to angle like this. And see how I push down on the hand and I lift up on the elbow. See that? That reverse action? And that's why they call it arm entanglement, because his arm is totally entangled. Garami means to entangle, to wrap around something, to lace around something. Well, I've got him laced up pretty good here. Okay? So that's the figure right there. And I can finish it like that. Okay? Now, we're going to work on a really simple one, but it has a real high ratio of success, and it's quite popular. What Mike's going to do basically is going to shove Eric's arm down, and he's going to put it under his knee. He's just going to swing his leg over, trap his knee. Now that hurts on and of itself right there. But see how he's still holding here? He's trapping his head, trapping his shoulder. It's really tight. He's got a pretty good arm lock going there, but he's purposely not adding a lot of yank into it. Now he's going to push up on the elbow, and that hurts even more. Okay. Now this is really good coming back at your basic Kesa Gatame. Now this is really good if a guy isn't very flexible. Like heavyweights who aren't very flexible people. Some lightweights aren't very flexible either. So he's going to be very susceptible to this type of a move. So the bottom guy who's not flexible. So sometimes all you have to do is extend the arm down and kick your leg over, and that's enough to make it hurt. Okay? Or he may be fighting it, and you may have to come on here just a little bit. And maybe further out here, just catch it with the bottom part of your leg. See that? And make it hurt. So, if he's real flexible, he's going to get some bend in this. Okay? If he's not, he's going to tap out pretty quick. But if he does, and Eric's a pretty flexible guy, so what he has to do as soon as he gets it, he traps it, kicks the leg over. Now watch this. Pushes up, adds more oomph to it. Okay? And this just adds more pain to it. It's really just as much a shoulder pain as it is elbow, but it really does hurt the elbow a lot too. Okay, just look at it here, real basic application under there and catch it right there. Okay. Sometimes if the guy turns in, so turn into a little bit, Eric, and you're fighting. Don't turn. Yeah. So see, that's a really good counter to his turning in. See that? So when he starts to turn in, what's Eric thinking about? He's thinking about escaping, isn't he? He's not thinking, and he's thinking about, come on back out here. He's thinking about, oh my gosh, my arm is loose. This helps me get out. That makes Mike just catches it in there, makes it hurt more. So this is really good counter for Mike to use if the bottom man is trying to escape and turn in. And a lot of times they will try to turn in, and it stops that escape right away. So it's kind of a cool move.
So if he does manage to get his arms all the way around, okay, usually it's from this position, okay, because when my hand's underneath the armpit, it's a little bit more difficult for him to get his arms around. But if I do happen to be in this position and I can't break that grip off anywhere and try and get it bent underneath this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the other way. So whereas it would be in Ude-garami this way, it's the same thing, but we're going to go that way, more traditional grip, okay? So I'm going to grab here, okay, come through and get my grip, okay? But you'll notice I'm still nice and wide and I'm leaning back on him. If I lean forward, he comes back up and he takes my back, okay? So as soon as I get a good hold on that wrist that's held behind my back, okay, this other hand is going to slide past. I don't go up and out, okay? I keep back here and you just slide it past his head and then grip up, okay? And you can already see he's starting to kind of wiggle away from it because it's not too fun because I'm right there on the joint, okay? What that does is it locks his shoulder joint in, so as soon as I start twisting, it's already starting to pop out, okay? Remember that the shoulder joint is just held in by, what is it, the labrum, the muscle that's across the front. It's a ball joint, it wants to move. You stop it from moving and then you start cranking it and it wants to pop out, okay? So you lock the joint by putting your weight on it and then you twist, all right? So again, get a good hold, make sure that I've got my weight on him, okay? Slide up and entangle, and as I pop that hand free, get a hold of your wrist, okay? And then just a twist like that, okay? If I do manage to get up a little bit and he starts coming up on me, we're gonna just sit back on it, okay? So if I come through here and I have this, a lot of times we start getting into straightened arm territory, or he's turning back that way. He's getting out of it to where I can't get my arm underneath. Or even sometimes when I do this, it's way out here and he'll still manage to straighten it. So you're like, it's not working. Okay, so what we're going to do is alternate ways to hit it. And it's not going to be a bent arm lock anymore. It's going to be more Ude-garami, the arm bar would be what we're going to be hitting here. So the easiest one, usually when I do this, they know what's going on and they straighten the arm because they're like, that's how you defeat the bent arm lock. So as soon as he does that, you stick your knee on top of it and you just squeeze your knees together, okay? If you want to be extra mean about it, okay, you pull his head up and then you squeeze, okay? If you don't really like that, as soon as it goes there, you put your foot on it, okay? And you do it that way, okay? Or, let's see, what was the third one? Oh, wait, that's right. So there's there, and we can just push it down if you want. But you're not always going to get that one. So if you push and it's not working, start leg assisting. Okay, and the important part is that my knees are doing that. Okay, even when I'm using my foot, okay, I'm still bringing that knee up. So we isolate, okay, and don't let go of the arm because then he's going to turn his, there you go, and he's out. Okay, so again, alternate grips. We're going here, okay, he straightens his arm, okay, I put my knee on it, squeeze my knees together, okay, put my foot on it, squeeze my knee up, okay, use my hand, and then, that was it, the third and final one, okay. That time, what we're doing is I hook it like that with my other leg, and then you pop your hips forward. But again, hold on to your pin. If I'm just doing this, he's out, okay? And even if he's not smart enough to do that, okay, I'm losing my leverage. I can do this all day long and it just scoots with me. If I keep the hold in there, okay, that keeps him from moving forward.
Now what you're doing, Eric's elbow is really being barred by his leg, his left arm is across your left leg.
Right.
So put your arm out there, Eric.
Okay.
So there's a bar, and now your right leg is going to provide the power to drive it.
Yep.
And create that. There's the Fulkerman lever and everything there.
Okay, so again, all right, straight, knees together, foot, hand,
Often you'll find that third one that he just did is probably the one that probably your go-to move.
Right.
That's the one because you have that extra level of control by hooking with your right leg over his arm, and it helps pin him, continue to pin him, and then just add the pressure by going down with it.
And there's so much other fun stuff from here that I almost want somebody to do this. I'm happy if I get the bent one out of it, but if he straightens it and I do this and I don't get it, then I'm like, okay, this is great. I can go now into, you know, our bent arm lock over there, or, you know, I can go over the triangles. There's so many other things that you can do when you get that arm in between the legs. Okay, so playing around with this arm, trying to get something, and it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to underhook this arm. Okay, that makes the move easier, and it makes sure that he can't get my back. Okay, once I get that, I go from this hand to his head. Okay, as I step over. So I start stepping, grab the head, step all the way over. Okay, notice how I turn my hips over, and then I just get my feet crossed, squeeze. Okay, so standard Kesa, playing around with this hand, not working. Take my underhook, okay, push this down, step over, grab his head, turn my hips over, get my feet together.
Now guys, it's essential you don't do this all in a hurry.
Yeah.
Do them in steps like Derek did. This happens and this happens. One thing leads to another, okay? Right. So the first setup is you've got a good side position, side control with Kesa Gatame. But look how the arm is. His left arm is holding Mike's arm. He's just trapping it there, okay? And he doesn't have like the standard, like the judo style Kesa where you wrap the arm all the way around you. He's just holding it there. And now he's got, so what he's doing now the next thing he really has to do is underhook, switches there. Now that opens the head up, okay? And notice he's still in a good solid position, riding him, and then he starts to work on the guy. See how he hooks the head? Makes that happen then.
And it's actually not that difficult of a triangle to get. You don't have to be super bendy because you're already at an angle. So it makes getting the triangle easier. The thing you have to remember though is turn your hips over, otherwise he's gonna come back up on me. And I might get this, I might not. Usually you won't get it. He'll shuck his head out of there. Okay, so turn the hips all the way over. What's better than pinning somebody, choking them while you do.
Yeah, belly down, really hips all the way over your belly down on the guy. Yeah. We good? Here we are, all right? Now, I got a natural transition for this is Kata-gatame, shoulder hold, and shoulder locking in place. It also lends into a very nice choke. So we're going to do this series here. Well, we still got them around the head. Okay, we got variations of this which we'll cover, but right now we got them around the head. Let's use it. So here are my Kesa Gatame. I'm holding well here. Okay, slip up, push it up over the head. Now, lock in place. Don't grab any old way. Don't ever lace your fingers. Get a nice square lock. Okay, my head here. There's Kata-gatame right there. Now, if I want to apply a choking technique in, and this is a variation of it, and you'll see here in a second what I do. If I want to apply a choke and also hold them, I can come back up on my knee, post out here, and here's the more classic form of Kata-gatame. See I'm up on my knee along the side of his body? I post out here. See the line straight here? It's kind of a triangle I'm forming here. And there's Kata-gatame. And I can apply that and get a good Kata-jime choking, shoulder choke from that position. Just do a Kata-gatame, shoulder hold, okay? Yeah, and so square them together. So you've got, there's your Kata-gatame, right? Okay, or variation of it, that's a real good one. So he's holding, so you're holding him for time. You say, okay, I'm done holding him for time to make you tap out. Okay, this is where the beauty of it. So you can start there on your knees. If that doesn't work, you know, or you can just flatten out. There's a good tap out. Or flatten out and crank it. Okay, what other? You have another one, don't you?
Through.
Yeah. Just squeeze them tight. There you go. Okay.
Watch the head change.
Squeeze there. All these are shoulder chokes. Kata-jime. Kata, shoulder, jime, squeeze, pincer movement together, a choke basically.